Honestly, I don't even know how to play the theme song at this point. It might as well be years ago. Even though
It's podcast from Steam. There you go. I got you started.
Right, our last podcast was in December, right? Because we were supposed to do it, right?
I think so. In the key of ready.
Yeah. Because we were going to do it in February.
But we
Been
didn't.
a while.
But then we were just so busy, we just couldn't. I mean, we're still busy, but we were able to make time this time. I don't know how to play this song. Wait, let me try. I don't know how to play it. It's been too long.
Just like close your eyes and feel it.
And obviously,
It's 2016. It's still fresh in your mind.
All right, play the first 3 chords just out of your heart right now. Go.
Just for
See
anyone
how well
listening,
your heart remembers.
Also, we're still doing remote Bennettarium, so nothing will
Not
be
me.
synced
I'm
up.
in David's living room
So
right
they'll try to sing
on his
along.
couch.
No. Wait. This is what we're gonna do. This is what we talked about beforehand.
I was ready for we're each doing our own version.
Yeah, that was the plan.
I got mine in my head. I'm ready.
Okay, here we go.
Oh,
I'll do the original, and then you guys can just do something funny. No,
Right,
not at
no.
the same time, right? No, one after another.
Wait,
No.
right now?
No.
Okay, you go first.
It's a podcast from Steam. Powered giraffe. It's the Bennettarium. Oh, we haven't done this since December, but there's not much to talk about anyways on the Bennettarium. Oh boy, it's the Bennettarium. And now it's time for Bunny to do hers.
Me? Okay. It's the Bennettarium with David Grayshirt Bennett.
This is black.
The Bennettarium. Welcome aboard today. You'll fly across the moon. It's a boat, but who cares? On the Bennettarium, people are hooking up on the Bennettarium. In this episode, we have a special guest. It's Bryan Barberin.
I'm turning down your mic a little bit. It's getting a little loud. I just want
It's like the Love Boat. Get it?
I did get that. I don't know why. I've never seen the Love Boat.
Neither have I. I assume it's kind of like Fantasy Island with everyone's like getting together and, you know.
Here's the only reason I know the Love Boat theme song is from Sister Act 2. Love Boat.
My shirt is black, though in the camera it does look
It's not
lighter.
black. It's gray.
Oh.
It looks
Here, you want me to sing it again? The gray
because it's probably just because the it's so dark in here. Like, but you can tell it is black, right? It's black. It just
It looks grayer now that you've done it.
Now it definitely looks black. It's definitely black, but I don't know. Is the dress blue or
is it charcoal?
When I look in real life, it's way darker than it appears on screen. But I think it's because the ISO is set pretty high because I have one light, and if I don't have the light on, it's still pretty dark, right? So that's probably why. It's probably because. But it's pretty.
I don't know. Is my shirt black?
It's not even faded. It's not even a faded black. It's like pitch black in real life.
when we're talking about shirts?
I
I just want to
swear.
point out I'm wearing a dinosaur dress.
What?
However,
What dinos you got on there?
for
Hold
those
on.
for those of
All
you
of
who just
them.
hearing the audio, because this is a podcast, by the way, we all have different windows on Discord. We can see each other. Now mine is the brightest. I have lighting set up, and there's things in the background. Brian's like half in shadow, and
Yeah, because I live in darkness.
and then Bunny's
I have
is
vengeance.
Bunny's
I
has
got
a nice neon glow in the background for the backing, but it also Bunny's like in complete darkness as well. So
I have 4 lights on. I think my ISO is just set really low. So
in comparison, my shirt looks gray because you guys live in the
I've got
darkest
light,
night.
David.
I could brighten myself up.
And
but
now Brian's
it's
using
not going to read on the
cell phone lights.
podcast.
Okay. Anyways, the video is just an extra bonus for patrons.
We're not done here though. We're still waiting for Brian's rendition. Of
Yeah,
this
you're right.
Well,
And if
wait.
I had to pull that out of my,
Hold on. Wait, hold on. What if I distract you with another fun anecdote from Sister Act 2?
People in the chat say it's too dark. They can't see Bunny's dinosaur dress.
Oh, here, hold on. Let me shine a light on it.
Wait, can't you just press your the button on your camera like I do, and then it increases the brightness? Oh, look at that!
I don't know
Oh
how to
no,
do
you
that.
can see him now. You can see him now.
Yeah. got Stegosaurus.
So any of you audio podcast listeners, just
I don't know.
you'll never
Dinosaur
you'll just have to imagine.
Triceratops. Spinosaurus.
Brian, could you turn on your studio lighting for a second? Or?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Wait, what if will this work if I do this? Does it? It's not lighting up yours. Just get close enough to the screen.
Come on.
I don't like it bright because look at all that sheen on my skin.
Make it brighter.
I have
use the natural light, but
I
it's
have
dark
lights
out.
right above my bald head. It's completely.
It's great.
Like,
Some of us like to be in the darkness. Look how much better this looks.
Okay, now it's pitch black. Okay. Anyway,
I feel like Two-Face.
we did the podcast for the people who can see us. Now, but let's get back to the audio where Brian's going to sing us his Bennettarium theme song.
Yeah, but what if I, and hear me out, distract you with yet another Sister Act 2 ad?
I don't think I've heard one yet.
I had the Love Boat one,
say,
and then I skipped the other one because we got distracted, and now here's a third. Kathy Najin. Great, right? She's amazing. Sister Act 2.
I'm gonna get water. This podcast
Also,
hasn't
Peggy
started,
Hill,
so I'm gonna go get water.
King of the Hill. You know that?
Say a little bit for you.
Forever. Wait, no, that's my big fat Greek wedding.
Oh wait, did they not sing that song in there? I thought they did.
No, they sing when Jesus walked, and then there's the high note.
I like that one.
That's the best part of the Sister Act 2.
Oh, happy day. Was that from the first one?
Oh, happy day. No, that's Sister Act 2.
When Jesus walked.
When Jesus walked.
When Jesus walked.
When Jesus walked.
I remember, like, or at the end of I love at the end of Sister Act 2, where they're just like, let's just wear our normal clothes
our street clothes.
We'll just wing it, and it's just like they didn't rehearse this, and it just looks so perfect.
Like, come on, drum machine, kick it!
But it was so cool.
Okay, I'm back. Is the podcast over yet? Or
Yeah.
Man,
call this one Sister Act 2.
Movies are pretty good, pretty wholesome.
They're great.
Pretty fun.
We've talked about this before, right? That they're doing a reboot without Whoopi Goldberg.
Well, then who would ever see that movie?
On the other hand,
she's got to be at least in the background winking.
Yeah, she's got to at least sell her a ticket. Like,
it's probably gonna be something like
here's
that.
a ticket to the train.
I'll take my paycheck. Wink.
Though Whoopi Goldberg was in the news recently, right? About saying something pretty bad about.
Sure, she was.
She's
in the news like every 5 years. They're saying something bad about something.
Yeah,
I just assume every celebrity is just spouting nonsense constantly.
That's what the last that's what the last 5 years have been. Has been basically celebrities need to just stop talking.
Well, why do we
listen to these people?
Including us, our quasi-celebrityness with our fandom. We should stop talking. We're just normal people. We don't have any good insight into stuff.
You either stay the hero or you live long enough to become the villain. Batman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So how was Brian's? I wasn't here, but how was Brian's Bennettarium podcast song?
It was great. You missed it. It was
we just sang Sister Act songs.
Was it?
Here it comes. It's the best podcast in the land. See and airing them. Oh, here it comes the steam-powered Bennettarium, aquarium. If I had a chicken, I marry him. You bury him, and then
I live in a terrarium.
A terrarium.
I'm gonna get a job as a librarian.
Librarian? That's all right. You can't just make up words.
What? Have you listened to any
Excuse me, sir. You are banned from rapping for the rest of all time. I'm the mayor of rap, and I say this is no go.
I'm gonna make a new element out of book.
Aluminarium.
Come on, Rabbit, you can do it. Mom Spaghetti.
Okay.
So yeah, that's mine.
Pretty good podcast, I think. Should we?
So far.
I mean,
let's end it now before anything bad happens.
We're still recording, right? Let me just double check.
Nope. I guess we got to restart the whole thing.
No, yeah, we're
all
recording.
Everything. Everyone
working.
come up with new theme songs. All right,
This is
new
been a
genres too.
And
Let's spin the wheel of theme
Believe it
songs.
or not, we're on the Bennettarium.
Hey,
I
you
never
can't
thought I
just
could.
make songs. You're cheating.
Well,
I'll change one note. Never thought I could be so on a window player. Who could it be?
On a window
Believe it or
player.
not. It's just me. Yeah. Window player.
Can't get us now, big music.
Good luck.
Now I didn't get to, I was absent. But what's your favorite Sister Act song? And how do you?
Oh,
Yeah.
well, yes. I'm sorry. Continue.
No, you continue.
I mean, we already discussed it.
Yeah.
I mean, Sister Act
When
has-
Jesus walked.
I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
When Jesus walked. That's my favorite.
That isn't that Happy Day?
Oh, happy day. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's the best one. And I say it rivals anything in Sister Act 1. But it's not really.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because, it's like iterating on the idea of the first one, but then now you get younger kids and voices, and there's a little more of a modern sound to some of it. So
It's almost like what a sequel should be.
Yeah.
It's actually like as a kid I liked it better than the first one, but I liked the first one a lot. But like as soon as you throw kids in there and there's like the comedic background priests and nuns, good times.
May I also bring up Ball of Confusion starring the sisters?
Oh,
Rap on, sisters! Rap on! Education, all abomination, abomination! Ball of Confusion!
that was pretty good,
Right?
too. Yeah.
That was a pretty good one.
There's
There's another one in the first one that I really like, but I can't remember what it is.
I mean,
I'll think of it later.
the James Brown stuff is always, I guess, was good for a chuckle or so.
Yeah.
welcome to the Bennettarium. Back in the habit. We are the one podcast where we break down just how good movies the Sister Act movies are, and how what a gem Whoopi Goldberg is.
Yeah,
As
we've
long as
been
you
on
don't reference the news, I guess.
Yeah, don't
Hi.
Google her. Not once.
We probably said this before, but Whoopi Goldberg ate at the Foster Freeze in El Cajon.
I was
in the
just thinking
80s
about it.
before we were born, and Bunny and I grew
Wow.
up in El Cajon.
Yeah.
She worked at the San Diego Rep. She was like a San Diego citizen.
She was?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Her-
She ate ice cream at the Foster Freeze and signed something for them.
and her picture was just in there, probably eating I don't remember what Foster Freeze.
Did she have eyebrows?
It was very old.
I don't
It was
remember.
very old.
Did
80s.
she have eyebrows?
But I know as a kid, you're just like, whoa, we saw her in Sister Act. Now let's go watch Ghost Dad. I like Ghost Dad as a kid. I'm sorry. I mean,
that's Bill Cosby. That's not Whoopi Goldberg.
I know. But it's just like the train of thought. It's just like
Yeah.
Sister
Just think about
Act and
problematic celebrities.
Ghost Dad. And,
So is it
Childhood
bad
movies.
to eat on a podcast? I think it is. I think you're not supposed to.
Well, I don't know. Are you eating like in the mic? Like,
Try not to.
are you like backing up? I can't hear you, so I don't feel as bad. But like the
This is
people who are
just gonna
watching you are very upset right
this
now.
is just going to be an ASMR podcast.
The people watching are actually getting a better audio quality from me because you guys are getting it through Discord, and it's probably like compressing it a little bit. But to capture my audio, it's like directly from the mic, so they're probably getting a lot cleaner, so they can probably hear all the nuances of my lips
Oh,
smacking.
gross. Disgusting.
Welcome to the Bennettarium. We haven't even introduced ourselves. Welcome to the Bennettarium. I don't want to interrupt you, though, if you had something important to say.
Who? Brian? Me?
Yeah.
Brian? You want to talk?
Whoever.
Go ahead.
Did you? Could you? Are you?
Bunny?
Should,
I'll talk.
okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, it's me, Isabella Bunny Bennett. I play Rabbit and Gigi the...
You cut out there a
Am
little
I too
bit.
loud?
Woo!
Gigi the giraffe. Am I too loud?
I think when it gets to a certain volume, Discord's just like, nah, and it just cuts you off. It's weird. Anytime it gets
I need to be
loud.
like one of those performers that stops like yelling everything to be funny. That's what I'm turning into.
I think it's just the mics. I think it's the sensitivity on Discord. It's just, what can we do? Yeah, on there we only heard and that was it. Just I would just turn your sensitivity down just a little bit in your Discord settings if you can, because you're getting cut off.
I can't. I've tried. I'm a very sensitive person.
Whatever.
Turn it down as if it's more sensitive or less sensitive?
More sensitive. Even though that doesn't make any sense because it's like stopping from getting loud, but for some reason it's like I guess it probably.
Gigi the giraffe.
Yeah, there we go. We heard all of it that time because it gets confused. It's like, oh, this high noise just must be background noise. So we're just gonna turn it off.
Yeah. Okay, there we go.
I don't know.
Must be a plane flying by.
Well, now that the podcast
plane.
has officially started, do we start the audio podcast like 10 minutes ago, or do we start it now?
Of course.
10 minutes ago.
That was the best part of the podcast 10 minutes ago. It's all downhill from there.
Now that they love us, they get to know who we are.
Okay, we know who you are, Bunny, because you introduced yourself and you play Gigi, and that's all we heard. But yeah,
I played Gigi. Yeah, and Rabbit. I'm just kidding. Rabbit and Gigi.
Brian, you want to?
Who's next?
Are you?
Yeah. Howdy, everybody. My name is Bryan Barfriend. I play Zero the robot.
Yeah, I've heard Zero sound like that a few times.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was wonderful to be on this podcast. I appreciate y'all.
Well,
hope you have a blessed
we needed
day.
a special guest today. So
Wonderful. It's a wonderful rainy day today. And
it is.
If you didn't know.
I mean, technically,
nice
I stopped at like 4 a.m. or something like that.
You stopped at 4 a.m. How does that make you feel?
Pretty early.
The rain was so nice. Just listening to it last night.
Except now I can't go hiking. Too muddy.
Well, I mean, you like hiking in the mud. You mud running.
Don't they have like hiking boots?
We'll go mud
I don't have
running.
to clean my boot. It's already going to be muddy tomorrow, but it'll be way too muddy today.
Those are boots. Those are shoes that you keep outside your door and hopes no one steals them.
Yeah, and then everyone knows that you went like really hard hiking today. They're like, wow, that guy worked hard. I better shut up so he can get some sleep. Probably gonna need it because he was working so hard in that mud.
Oh yeah, and my name's Dave Michael Bennett, and I play the Spine in the robot band Steam Powered Giraffe. Wow, it kind of feels good, even though I know you're just patronizing me.
We're not.
What? No, that was great.
I was like, yeah, it feels good to feel like the thing that I do all the time and takes no effort. It feels nice to. Isn't that the best kind of feeling? Is you just because not many people get that, right? Right?
It's true. It's very true.
What it's not like I can just go out to anywhere on the street and be like do that voice and people are like oh, it's you. It's not like people know us that well, but
they'd probably be like, oh wow, cool voice.
No,
or maybe like, what are you doing?
Yeah, probably that.
Please, sir, I'm sure. Please,
Pick up your pace.
Well, I don't go outside anyway, so I was just saying. But
please, sir, this is a Wendy's.
It's a fun. It's because even back when we were on stage, you can say something that's like an in with the fandom of something, like just a quote from one of our music videos or an old bit.
Wacky Adventures.
And it feels good because it's like, well, this took no effort at all. I just had to reference something and bam, you feel amazing. It's a really good feeling. It's like, yes, people like us and I didn't have to do anything.
I remember when
That's the best
there was
kind of
one summer when Keanu Reeves was like at the Video Game Awards and he did the you're breathtaking, and then he's like, "No, you are," or something. So, but boy, we did that bit a couple times, and that was great.
Sure did.
Like,
Keanu Reeves just writes all your jokes for you.
It's like even when back there, it's like it's that balance of like when are people overusing something, but at the time it was like it was
it was fresh. It was so fresh. Someone in the audience said, "You're breathtaking," and we just like that a beat. No, you or something. I don't.
Doesn't that seem like 2 years ago? But it was like 6 years ago. Like it was so long ago. It hurts my brain to think about. That's how long ago that was.
It just happened, right?
It feels like it did, but no, that was like 5 years ago.
Do you ever think when we go back to doing shows, like it won't be funny? Like that we won't even have like we won't even want to make a joke. We'll be like, hey, we're Steam Powered Giraffe. Here's this clockwork vaudeville.
It's been a couple of years. Here's a joke.
Just exhausted from the get go.
we're in our 50s at this point.
Here's clockwork vaudeville.
We go back to the super slow version from album 1. And it takes 2 hours.
With 150 size.
Yeah. I can't wait. For what?
For what in particular?
To get back on stage and just totally like have like breathing issues because I've been out of the game for a little bit too long. Well, I have. I know you guys have been playing lots of games like Candyland and.
I never get stuck in the mud.
So, what about what's new with you guys? What's going on in the wide world of sports?
Yeah, and then after that we can get in talking about what the band's been up to. Sure, what's up? Yeah. And then we'll do Bennettarium questions. How about that? Yes, that's a schedule. Okay.
Sounds wonderful.
What have you been up to, Brian?
Well,
we're not talking about, because for me it's all of it's going to be Steam Powered Draft stuff. So yeah. I have to think about personal stuff, right? This is personal.
Should I talk about Steam Powered Draft stuff so you don't have to talk about it?
No. It's just, I mean, that's what my everything I do, waking moment. So I have less interesting things to talk about. You go ahead though. You talk about anything that's not Steam Powered Draft, and then.
Well, my Christmas tree is still here.
Oh.
That's the thing. This is my Christmas tree is still here. That's just sitting here in the corner. It's all lit up.
So
that's cool.
Are you just seeing how long you can get away with it until it gets to December again?
Pretty much. so far so good. It looks good still.
Oh yeah, because it's fake.
Yeah,
it's a fake one, right?
It isn't. No, it's not fake.
It's a real tree.
It's a real tree.
No,
so it's like
I don't believe
it's like ready. It's like ready to like explode at any moment.
Are you sure? I don't know. You're joking.
Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. Who knows?
Wouldn't it just be like raining like pine needles?
No, man. It looks.
No, I don't
like,
believe that. It's real.
Gotta
tree.
be brown,
be dead by
right?
No, man. It's green. It looks like it's hanging down. It looks a little sad, but it's still kicking.
I don't believe it.
Still got lights on it. Still looks like a pretty woman
LED
walking
lights?
down the street. Yeah, the LED lights, so they won't combust.
Okay, well, at least as long as there's that,
Yeah.
they can still get
Anything
hot.
else? No, they couldn't. I mean, anything. I mean, like if I left the blinds open and like sun got on it, it would blow up for sure. It would explode.
I don't believe you.
It's
I believe you. I believe you have a fake tree.
Well, believe what you want.
Can you send us a picture of the tree?
Send us a picture.
Confidence?
Send us a picture of
We can verify it?
this brown dead
Well,
tree.
okay.
I want to see this petrified brown
right now.
Should we be concerned for your family's well-being and you? I don't like this. Do you need a tree exorcism?
Are you sending it
That's
to
fine,
us?
man.
Can we look at this?
Nice. Yeah, the tree's coming.
Oh yeah, it's coming.
It's coming. Hold on. I'm sending it.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you're sending it.
I'm sending it.
I don't know what to believe anymore. Anyways, so that's all you've been up to is just rolling the dice on your livelihood?
I've been tending to this tree.
Rolling dice on your mortality.
It takes a lot to work on this tree here.
I guess your livelihood would be like, wait, what? Well, you need your body to do things, right? So yeah, your livelihood.
I have to mist it every morning.
A combustible tree might affect your livelihood.
What?
Hey!
Oh, wow! Does that make it worse or better?
You can't probably get to see the video, but
it doesn't look as brown. It doesn't look nearly as brown as I thought it would be.
What is that? A recent picture, or is that a picture I took a long time ago just to make this joke?
I don't know. Here you can.
Oh man,
I'm showing it on my video feed. See you there.
Oh man, I'm looking at like your hair. It does kind of seem like from the angle that your hair is brown.
Mm-hmm.
How could it be that old? Did he even have the Shure microphone back then?
Okay. Well, wait, in December?
Seems like it's a mystery now.
No, he took it just now.
Sounds like a Scooby-Doo mystery.
No,
ladies and gentlemen.
Like seriously, that tree's got to be like a fire hazard.
What? No. What are you talking about? It's fine.
I'm gonna Google this.
We're laughing about it now, but then when Brian's like doesn't have an apartment anymore.
And you keep a dead Christmas tree
What if it's not dead?
in your house.
What if it's alive?
How did you do that? You have the roots going outside?
You ever wish upon a star, David?
Has it been
No.
more than 4 weeks?
Hold on. 1, 2, Yeah. Like this year or last year.
It's just so weird. Like when you find out things about people, and you're just like, really? I just lost a little bit of respect for you, Brian. Not because you kept the Christmas tree up, but because you're endangering your life.
I was gonna say this. Everything I look up sounds like, please don't do this. Remove the tree from me.
Look,
I'm just kidding. I don't care about you.
Oh,
is it a real Christmas tree? Who knows? Who knows?
it says even LEDs can overheat.
Well, sounds like a challenge for me later in life.
Honestly,
Apparently
apparently
they
adds a
don't-
little bit of spice to your life every waking moment.
A little bit, a lot of it.
Do you leave
Don't
the
you ever
lights on
want to feel
overnight?
alive?
You leave the lights on at night when you go to bed.
Of course I do. I leave the candle on top of it. Nice. So it wakes me up in the morning.
You have an oscillating fan just going by it, just hoping an ember.
I
just
sleep
really
like an
like
angel.
Need the Christmas magic all year long.
Mm-hmm.
That's
It's
all.
really
So that's all you've been up
throughout
to,
the
huh? Is that it? Is that? Are we?
That's
done?
it.
Are you done? Okay.
That's a full-time job.
I don't know how much you want to share.
I've been playing some video games. That's about it. Oh, and getting ready to move into a bigger place. So there's that. That's about it. Nothing particularly interesting or humorous about my adventure, but
Well, next time come up with a better bit, like Ryan.
I'm sorry. I'll try harder next time. What have you been up to, David?
I mean, everything is steam powered draft, so I don't have much to talk about. Definitely some video games, you know. But I feel like that's its own separate section at this point. So I can get into it. It always is. It has been.
Should we open up that section right now?
No, we have to.
I think
we'll save it to the end.
Okay. I'm just wondering.
But yeah, pretty much.
You got any?
Video games, my leisure time, and hiking. But that's nothing new. So pretty much, I'm just keeping my consistent schedule of trying to stay as fit as I can and healthy and play video games to unwind at the end of the day.
Oh man, that's yeah. That just reminded me when you said staying fit and healthy. I was like, well, I haven't been doing any of that, but I have been. I did go back to eating meat.
Oh hell! Nice.
Yeah.
What was the first thing you ate?
Nothing good. I think I was like, I'm ready to have meat, and my roommates.
Here's a pigeon.
I think we're having McDonald's, and I'm like, sign me up.
Well,
And
there you go.
Wasn't great. And then I had real meat and food later, and it was like, okay, this is good. You know, I see. You definitely like the meat tastes so much different when you haven't had it for like a couple years. But yeah, so I guess I had a little bit of an adventure. I guess we all grew in the end.
We all did. We all grew a little bit. Our hearts grew 3 times the size from all the meat we were eating.
I grew a little bit more on account of all the cheese I was eating as a vegetarian.
So yeah, our personal lives, whatever, not as interesting. But Steam Powered Draft, also not as interesting. We don't have much to share with anyone since December. We've just pretty much been working on projects that hopefully we'll be able to announce a few things. Some of the patrons have a little more insight and all that. But we are working on new music. That's all you got to know. And yeah, just the other day I was looking through some of the stuff we've been working on, and I realized that we have quite a bit that we haven't actually released. So we're kind of working we're working on multiple things at the same time, and yeah, it won't
Shove
be like,
it into the content shoot.
it won't
It'll
be
come
like
out of
we'll
it.
have one thing in the next few months and then you'll have to wait another 6 months or something. We're definitely gonna have we're gonna stagger it, of course, so we can make sure we finish it all up nicely. But yeah, can't wait for that. But on other Steam Powered Draft news, we're not doing live shows anytime soon. Earliest we're thinking is, even if things come back to normal a little bit better and we can do shows, we probably don't have the time to do a live show until 2023. So that's tentatively we'll be busy up until then. And then for this year though, we will have a new Bandcamp vinyl campaign for our 2-cent show album, which we did a pressing of a few years ago. I think it was a little bit before the pandemic happened, but people have been asking us when we're going to do another batch of those, and we're like, well, we're going to use Bandcamp because it worked out pretty well with our 1896 vinyls, except for some shipping hiccups that Bandcamp had. Like, we're not the only people that had to deal with it, but they had to get a new distributor or fulfillment company to fix errors that, I don't know. That's why some people didn't get their 1896 vinyls for a while. But anyways,
we got some new products. Sorry, you're going to say something. I was just going to ask if we had any new products in the Steam Powered Draft store or anything.
Nothing that I can think of, but if it's new to you, then maybe. So just go to our store, and we usually put them in the newer products. If you go to the all products, we usually put the newer ones in the front. So I can't remember what the last few we've had, but probably not. Probably nothing new.
I'm going to look it up right now. Let's see what we got here. It's been a while.
But yeah, so the vinyl campaign for the 2-cent show, we're going to launch that at the end of April. So sometime after the tax season is over. I don't know if that really matters, but some people, don't like spending money right before taxes because some people owe money. And some people get money back, so it makes more sense to wait a little bit. But yeah, that'll just be another vinyl campaign. We'll probably do some test pressing, signed ones by Bunny and I. And we'll see how that goes. For a 2-cent show.
I can get a video request from the Spine.
You can get a video request from David, who plays the Spine. Though we do.
Oh, look!
We did do robot requests last holiday, Bryan and I, and those were pretty popular. So
I could purchase our new single, Fart Patrol, or Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, or maybe I want an 1896 poster. It's 12 by 18, or perhaps a Steam Powered Draft, a decoder ring.
Yeah. None of these are. I don't think most of these are new. But.
I bet someone on the podcast is like, wait, you guys sell decoder rings?
I mean, yeah, don't ever say we don't make products that
are stupid.
What do people? Yeah, I guess. Don't ever tell us that we don't keep stuff in stock that's stupid.
We got pop sockets. Those are great.
They're official too. Very expensive.
Drawstring backpacks. We got patches. Wow, we got a lot. Steam Powered Draft wristbands. Bands all sold out.
Well, we'll have new ones of those eventually. But I think people should know that, there has been a delay in like manufacturing stuff because of COVID and stuff. Things are getting slightly better. And of course we can manufacture a lot of stuff in the United States, of course. But yeah, for a while there we were like, not worth trying to get some of these products back in stock because it was just like such a delay. Anywho, the other thing I want to say is we will, for those of you who missed out on the 1896 vinyl campaign, I know this is the most boring part of the podcast, but we might as well throw it out there in case any of you are Steam Powered Draft fans and don't know any of this stuff. So yeah, if you missed out on the 1896 vinyl campaign last year, I think, right? It was early last year during the pandemic. Or was it last year or the year before? Anyways, I don't remember. I don't remember. I think it was last year.
Doesn't matter.
Seems like last year.
Yeah, so if you missed out on that, we will have a few signed 1896 vinyls that we will be offering on our store later this year. Probably closer to the holidays, a little bit before probably. We have not signed them, but we do have a batch. They're from overs and extras from Bandcamp that we're going to sell ourselves. So if you missed out, keep an eye out in there. It'll be slightly more than $40 what people pledged for on Bandcamp just because they're autographed. No more information past that though, other than keep a lookout and you'll.
Whoa.
We have limited supply of those, but yeah, we'll definitely offer those later this year. I think that's it. I think that's all Steam Powered Draft stuff we can talk about.
I will strongly consider a purchase.
You were gonna say?
No, you won't.
You were gonna say something earlier, buddy, about what were you gonna say? Something about Steam Powered Draft.
I say a lot of things. Steam Powered Draft sure is my favorite robot band.
Oh, you can also get your Steam Powered Draft Christmas tree on the website. If you search now, we've got one in stock left. It'll be shipped directly to your house. Don't open it quickly.
It'll be signed by Brian Barberin, not like an autograph, but it'll have a cardboard sign over it that says "Please keep away from fire or heat sources."
I don't think anyone's gonna have a problem
You'll personally sign it.
Because the minute Brian has to try to lift that tree into a box, all the needles are just gonna fall off immediately in a cloud of dust. And
That's not true. You obviously don't know this tree like I know this tree. It's a clean machine. Clean.
Is it a fake tree? Have we been
Who
like,
knows?
look, Brian's committed this bit. You're not getting any actual information out of him.
I'm still not convinced it's a real live dead Christmas tree. Because
Look, Bunny, Brian doesn't have control over a lot of things in his life, like most of us. This one bit is the one thing that he can totally feel good about. I'm in control of the information
what if
that
it's
I
not a
release.
bit though? What if it's not a bit?
That's the
thing.
best
I'm just
part.
saying.
You'll never know.
Sam did this in every single, like, his waking moment with everyone. You just never knew when he was joking. I mean, you could tell, but he did it sincerely, and there wouldn't be no laughs.
Well,
and he'd be
Sam's
like-
not here, okay?
and he laughed to himself. So I'm very aware that people want to keep a bit up, and I understand it. There's only
It's worth
it's
it.
the one thing you can do in life that just pissed the other two people off in the podcast that you're trying to. No, I'm just-
And now we're gonna open it up to the audience for questions.
Now these questions were pre-screened from our Patreons, our $5 tier and up. They're able to submit questions, and this time we don't. It's not like we have a buttload from December. But since December,
You can't say that on the podcast.
say
Whoa.
buttload.
Did you just say buttload?
Hey, censored, buddy. Sorry.
So I'm just going to go down the list, and we'll answer these to our best of our ability. And you too can submit questions if you're a $5 patron.
You too?
We pretty much
Bono?
just collect them up until the next Bennettarium podcast, and we usually do Bennettarium podcasts every other month. Though we skipped February because we were just so busy, and we may have to do that in the future. But most of the time, it's every other month. Because every month, we didn't have as much to talk about. And we're not a murder mystery podcast, and we're not talking about. We don't have a guest.
Not yet.
There's only so much.
You know, we should be a murder mystery podcast that makes up murder mysteries.
Oh, yeah.
So like we're just as we go along, we're finding out things, but we're also making them up. So
Well, we got the making up part down. Christmas tree.
Who killed the Christmas tree?
That's about it. We're gonna start these questions, right? Okay.
Alright, go.
So the first one is from Dylan. What's your favorite steam-powered giraffe song written by a former robot or multiple former robots? Good question. Good question. Bunny, you wanna start us off with an answer to this question for Dylan?
There's a lot, I got to go with that Juju Magic. I'm talking about the live version. It's my favorite.
the
That's
live
my
version's
favorite
dope.
to perform. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go with Fancy Shoes. Though Juju Magic's close second. I played bass on both of those, or I played bass both of those live, and real fun. I think Fancy Shoes was slightly more challenging on bass to learn. So that's why I like that one a little better, because once I nailed it, I felt like, oh, I'm playing something that Sam wrote. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
it feels nice to get something right that they wanted. He's a way better
Fancy
bass
Shoes
player
was
than me,
alive, yeah.
but it's nice when it's like I'm playing the part he wants me to play, rather than like, because what I would come up with probably pretty simple. So it's nice to have that challenge. I guess this is more awkward for Brian, right? Because you don't have to play any of theirs.
I know, right? I'm the Rain, maybe. I
Wait,
think that
he
was, like, my
kind
favorite off the
of
first
did
album.
for the 10-year anniversary show.
Yeah, I
that's
played
new.
Juju Magic and I didn't play anything on Fast Shoes, but I sang some. But probably Out in the Rain from album 1 was my favorite
That's a good one.
non-former robot one.
Good question, Dylan. This next one is from Emily. We know the robots don't eat, but we see them drink water on stage. Do any of them have a habit of drinking something that isn't water?
Oh, yes.
And if
all
so,
of them.
what do they enjoy for everyone? Okay.
Oh,
So for everyone, all the robots, all of us get to answer this.
yeah, I was like, what wouldn't they drink? Number one, not that it would be enjoyable, but like blue Gatorade.
It's going to be Gatorade that doesn't exist anymore, like that green rain flavored Gatorade.
Oh, like Frost Green or Frost Rain Gatorade?
Yeah, ones that don't exist anymore. That's what they like.
It's gonna obviously be a refreshing Bip Cola, or maybe a fun and new Bip Overdrive.
I think maybe the Spine canonically, obviously, drank oil at least once or twice. It's probably not helpful, but you drinking a petroleum-based product like that. But it was in a music video, so it's gotta be it's gotta be canon. At least once, right? Just for that music video, he's like, "Wow, get this out of my mouth."
Gross. Oh, that's gross.
Though in that music video, I guess it was chocolate syrup.
What? You didn't drink real oil?
Well,
you know what? Sometimes you learn something about somebody, you lose a little respect. I just lost a little respect for you. That's what I'm saying. Dripped. You lost a little respect for me earlier. I lost a little respect for you just now. You see how that goes? See how it feels? Good. We're back on the same level of respect now. I'm glad.
Okay.
Buddy, you're one step above us. We've just dropped right below you.
Everyone answered their question to their content?
Sure.
Yeah. Just making sure. Okay.
Feel pretty satisfied.
This next one's from Sarah. Can the bots be left alone unsupervised for certain amounts of time, or do they need to be watched? Like, for example, I assume the Spine can be left alone for hours at a time and nothing bad will happen. However, I bet Rabbit and Zero need to be monitored closely as to prevent accidents from happening. Another example, them setting fire to something. Also, Gigi should most definitely not under any circumstances be left alone and unsupervised because the consequences would probably be catastrophic. So the question was, can the bots be left alone, unsupervised?
Yeah, just turn them off and put them in a box.
Yeah, it's probably the safest option.
For years.
It's probably one of those they're just like we're leaving to go get groceries, and they turn all the robots off, and then they forget to turn them on for the whole summer or something, and they miss summer vacation. This is an episode right now. It's right, and they get turned on,
wow.
And they get turned on, and it's Christmas already. Like what? And we had like a sun hat on, or
Zero has like a little horse inner tube on.
And we're like,
something on my nose.
And the Walter workers turn us on with Santa hats on.
No!
There's
a Christmas.
A menorah in the background, and we're like, what?
How will we swim in winter? And then Spine's like, guys, it's fine. We live in San Diego. Yay! It's not that cold.
You're like, actually, robots. It's actually not the holidays. It's just very cold outside because of nuclear winter. If you look out the window, it's completely right outside.
You've been turned off for 3,000 years. I'm actually the ancestor of Peter Walter.
But then what are all these candy canes doing here? Those are small little barber shops signs.
They took hair got really big before the fall of mankind,
and the nuclear blast melted them. So that's why they're just that's why they look like candy canes. That's the kind of.
Come on, we need to give us a cartoon, okay?
I just like the idea of like someone having to explain it like within a hair's width of like why things are exactly
for that long.
I want to watch this cartoon. 20 minutes of this
what else
joke.
Just you're like, but why is this? Yeah. But then why is there snow outside? No, that's ash. That was the easy one. That's the easy one. Okay, I can figure that one out.
That's dandruff. Dandruff from the giants who ravaged the lands.
It's like, but how are you still alive? It's thousands of years. Like, oh, well then
we're already answered that, ancestor.
I'm not. It's a hologram. The hologram been waiting for you.
But you look exactly like Peter Walter. Well, on the budget, they just got his actor to play mine. So we look at.
And if this happens to be a cartoon, it's like, well, we didn't want to. If it's a 3D animated cartoon, then it's way too expensive to not use the same model
render somebody.
So that's why you how much it costs to put the Santa hat on us? Yeah, they weren't. You guys look exactly the same. Your robots don't get costume changes.
We're gonna need 15 Christmas specials per year just to make up the money for those Santa hats. And
now that it's an endless nuclear winter, I suppose.
It's an endless nuclear winter.
And to save even more cost, you guys will be performing the rest of your 3 seasons in this this bunker, and it has gray walls, and you don't ever see the floor.
Yay!
And people said, no show lasts past its 2nd season on Netflix. Well, look at us now, Ma. It's season 3, the bunker season.
And then Zero's like, "Yeah, no, I call me when this is all over," and he just turns himself off. And you wake. That could be a whole episode. And then of course it gets just overwritten by the end of the season. Like there's nothing is canon, nothing stays.
Yes, of course.
Though that would probably piss off the hardcore fans. They're like, "No, you can't play fast and loose with your plot."
No, we would explain it with a multiverse later on in season 4, where we go back and
Vice Quadrant basically Vice Quadrant said there was a multiverse of some sort.
Yeah, exactly. Everything can be fixed with the multiverse.
People understand multiverse now. DC and Marvel doing it so much.
Yeah. Even Star Trek had a multiverse.
Yeah, our band is a multiverse.
You're a multiverse.
Anyways, great question, Sarah. What was it again? I'm not sure. Can they be left unsupervised? Yes, they can. 2 hilarious results. No, I guess they don't.
I think they were just pitching an episode of our cartoon.
Okay, this next question is from James. Okay, this one is gonna need some explanation, but I'll read it first and then we'll explain it. So from James, the Mayor of Summer was an eldritch abomination that brought hellfire upon the world. But what does the Mayor of Music do besides calling the Spine to play a song about love? Okay, so for some context, during one of our YouTube live streams years ago, like a year or so after Bryan entered the band, we were doing like live YouTube concerts and like short ones. And this one was a summer themed one where we had like beach balls and people would come out and do a little beach dance every once in a while. It was pretty fun. But there was a plot, sort of, and it was a beach ball, and I think that was the Mayor of Summer was the beach ball. But
you didn't find out until the end of the.
Yeah, so spoilers.
Yeah,
Not that any of you can watch this. It's just a YouTube thing. I don't think it's on YouTube anymore. I think it's on Patreon.
And the beach ball progressively grew as the show went on. Until it was a giant beach ball that re-rolled on.
It was
fun.
Good bit.
It was fun.
But earlier in the show, someone calls, and it's like, honestly, I don't remember the plot, but it's the Mayor of Music. Like, oh, that was the Mayor of Music, and he said we should play a song about love, and it's a honeybee bit, right? I think that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I don't think that was in that show. Maybe it was, but it's another bit that we usually do, right? Maybe it was in the same show. Anyways, it's another bit that we do, and I don't know if it was in that show. But remember, we updated the honeybee bit to have that. That was the Mayor of Music. We had to play a song about love. So yeah, the question is, what was the question? What? Yeah, they want to know more about the Mayor of Music besides calling the Spine. That's it. That's all he does.
Yeah.
Wait for one of our shows to come around every year or so.
This sounds like a team of writers might be able to figure this out on one of many streaming services, maybe a Disney Plus or a Hulu,
or maybe
the Mayor of Music was a woman.
Wait, did we ever say
yes,
that?
It was.
Did we say
yes?
Yeah.
Remember, because you went.
And she said,
"Oh yeah, wow."
I looked around.
Past me,
we all gave you a pat on the back.
Past me was so progressive. No, that was a good bit because and it's always funnier when you explain something. Because it's like we know this is an issue in society. That we all just assume a mayor is a male because that's society for you, right? Ingrained in us.
Well, mayor and mayor. That's
Okay.
That's the reason. John Mayer is really where everyone that comes from. It's an old adage.
Next up on the Joke Smiths, we'll be putting together a classic.
So then
John
say,
Mayer work didn't work. Tell me what went wrong.
Wait, so I think it was that was Mayor Music, and like, what did he say? She said that we should play a song about love, and then and I do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you pat me on the back or something.
I knew there was something. Congratulations on.
That was a good bit
was funny.
because I liked the audience like always reacting to that because it's like a happy moment, you know. It's like like we're calling to attention because you can only do it in a band like this because otherwise it would be like we're making fun of something, but because it's like oh rabbit or zero, you thought it was a man.
You silly,
but then having the spine do it is pretty funny too, and you know, I don't know. Explain it, kind of.
To answer your question is, these are all things that a talented team of writers will be able to come up with.
Cool. Glad we could answer your question
for TV movie.
So Catherine asks, for all of you, do you have a favorite author? And if yes, who? Has this person influenced your music, stage act, or lore development? And if so, how? Favorite author? Try not to say anything problematic. No, I'm just kidding. Try not to say. All your favorite authors are problematic, so you can't mention them anymore.
Orson Scott, J.K. Dougal McFangerman wrote Together Without Oblivion. One of my favorite books. It's a coming of age story.
I don't know if we're joking anymore. It sounded like I made it plain, but then it didn't. I don't know.
Let's see how Bunny can keep it together for a bit.
Yeah, but Brian's pretty convincing even with his laughs.
I don't know.
Did that sound like a name that I didn't just make up?
I mean,
did it
some of it did. The second part.
Oh, thank you. Okay, cool. What's your favorite author, Brian?
Yeah, Brian. You haven't.
Recently I've been reading a lot of Questlove's books.
Oh.
Moment of Blues. He's got a cookbook.
Also, shout out, congratulations, Questlove.
Right? He's got an Oscar. That's pretty dope too. So yeah, that's pretty good. I like Colson Whitehead. I just like him because I saw him somewhere, and then he signed a book, and I was like, "Oh, you're an author I know, and now I like you." That's pretty much the reason I like him a lot. Neil Gaiman, he writes some cool stuff. That's
I got a bunch of books behind me. I could look at them and just list one off, but currently I'm not really reading anyone right now.
I can't say that I'm a big novel reader.
What about Michael Crichton?
I haven't read any Michael Crichton.
What? Really?
But I've read Stephen King, and I do like Dark Tower and stuff. But
Dark Tower is cool.
I'm just like, you know, Chelsea and Camille, who live with me, like they're book fiends, and they're reading all the time. I read, but I just don't read novels and stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
me neither.
I do the audiobooks a lot. Like, I think I've been doing some Star Wars ones, and like none of them I'm like, oh, I like this author, and I do, but I wouldn't say they're my all-time favorite author. It's like I just want a nice book set in the universe that I want to imagine. So, like, I've been reading a lot of Warhammer and Star Wars books, and there's some good ones out there that are probably much better than the Star Wars movie.
There's a lot of good ones out there that are much better than the Star Wars movie.
I was reading Phasma, and that just has no right being connected to the movies, because it just does the character so much more justice. It's much more interesting than anything in the movie. The Phasma author was Delilah S. Dawson. I think she's kind of a nerd author. There we go. I had an answer. Yay. Kinda.
Yeah, unfortunately I don't have an answer for the author thing. I always feel stupid when I say,
yeah.
Hey,
Stephen
really
King
read.
is great. Like, I've read a lot of Stephen King stuff. I like horror, so like totally.
Most of the novels I've read haven't been because I have a favorite author in the first place too, and since it's so small in my 30 some odd years on this earth, like I don't feel like I have a good what can I say? Like I don't have enough knowledge of different writers to say that I've read enough to even have a favorite author.
My favorite author.
But you know, it's made me not as good at grammar. and spelling. And sometimes I see words that I'm like, I have no idea how to spell this.
Or say it.
Well, I think that with books too, you'll see that all the time. Like if you read it and you're like, I know what this word is now because I saw it in a book once, but you never know how to pronounce it because you've never had to hear it.
Yeah, that's my life.
But sure. I think reading a book definitely stretches the brain a bit. I can, anyone that I know who reads a lot is slightly better at words than I am.
Cool. Good question. I can list off authors from Elizabeth's many books.
Yeah,
I'm
not a big reader. Though. I'm just gonna admit it. I'm not a big reader. I mean, I love books. Don't get me wrong. It's just having a favorite author. That's something that you ask like a reader.
Yeah.
I like a collection of different authors, and they've wrote some good books, but like. Yeah, I don't have a favorite author.
I like Dark Tower because of the story itself, and like it was intriguing enough, like past the first book, that I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna like this. But I wouldn't say that I'm like itching to read any of Stephen King's horror stuff or anything. Like I know some people like the way he writes and stuff like that, and I mean I can get into that kind of stuff, but I don't know. Next question. We only have like 4 more. This one comes from Jesse. When creating each character, what inspired the name and personality choices? Like, are they based solely off of your individual personalities, or is there some celebrity influence in there as well as your own? Apologies if we answered a question like this already. I think we've answered similar ones in the past, but it's fine. We can. It's always nice to touch on stuff like this again. Yeah, where do we draw those character personalities from?
Rabbit's a lot of Buster Keaton, Jim Carrey, and with a little bit of Danny Elfman voice thrown in. Like those, there's probably some other influences I can't remember, but definitely drew a lot of inspiration from like I don't know, clowns, Red Skelton, and I'm gonna say just Jim Carrey was a huge influence on me, like growing up and like with my performance and stuff. So like, yeah, but that's about it for me. As far as like influences go, I don't know, like, and then just the dynamics of the character kind of came with the roles that we kind of took on in live shows, where Rabbit sometimes was serious, but was usually kind of like to mess around with the John and upgrade, kind of give Swine a hard time. Not always, but it did kind of start influencing the kind of wacky direction that I took Rabbit in.
Yeah, I think a lot of at least the chemistry between our characters, because we didn't just make them in a void and then had them meet in like magic or something. We obviously developed them as we were doing improv together before Steam Powered Giraffe. I think maybe we just kind of got a gauge of, especially Bunny and I, like where we were going with stuff. But yeah, during our early days in Balboa Park, like, you know, if you see any of those older videos on YouTube, and I don't think there's too many super old videos on, when I look at the Balboa Park stuff, it's usually from the second year that we did it. I don't see too many, because not many people were filming us when we first started. There's probably a few, but you can see that our characters have changed a little bit. Like the Spine's voice has gotten deeper. But that's just because I can project in a higher voice easier. I think most people can, if you're trying to shout out to the people. But I think most of the character dynamics, since it only exists inside that 15-minute show when we first started, you know, you're relying on the bits to kind of dictate all that. So I think once we got to stage shows, our characters were able to be fleshed out a little more, because it's like an hour and a half usually. And that's not saying much, because obviously, you know, but the bits were like the characters at the point. But now I feel like, because you have a whole show, it's not a bit every 15 minutes. I mean, it is, but there's also songs and stuff. So it's the characters can just live on stage a little longer. And I think that's where a lot of that playing them comes with, because back in the early days, it was kind of like, by the second you were as the character, it was over, you know. It was okay, we did 3 songs, we're done.
I think with the just sort of the improvisational nature of, even though we had some bits and sketches, there's still a lot of improv, and then like being able to play with that really kind of teaches you some things about the character and
your strengths. And
it makes you, it basically, what do you default to when you're panicking or when you need to come up with something. It's like, yeah, you kind of pull from what you know. So our comfort zones, whatever that might have been.
Yeah, and it happens to work out. Like if we were all wacky or all stoic or whatever, or like the straight man in the bit, like, you know, it doesn't all. I think we just naturally take that, try to find those dynamics in, and I think 3 is the best number for. I mean, you just hear that all the time. Obviously, when we had 4 robots at certain points when we first started out, but it was so inconsistent that we never really. And it was only, once again, these shows were 15 to 20 minutes long, so we didn't. At Balboa Park, so when Aaron and Upgrade was performing with John and I, like, and Bunny, it wasn't consistent enough that we kind of knew how the bit would play out in other ways, you know what I mean? Like, because we did it, we definitely did it more with 3 people than we did with 4 people, so, you know, at least after, like, by the second year of doing the act. And Bryan...
And then when Bryan came in...
Yeah. I mean, it's all very vaudeville-y. That's the best thing about it, you know, like this play on words and everything like that. If you bust out those old, you know, Abbott and Costello, Laurel and Hardy, Three Stooges, the turnings of the phrases, the fact that kind of anyone could be the straight man, anyone could be the dumb one at any moment, and it's all very earnest. I think that's the best thing about the humor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have to, like, we definitely have some cruel jokes in some sense where the robots are picking on a specific one, but it's never, and I think there's only one bit where we said, yeah, we can't do that one anymore. And it was one that we were, like, picking on Zero, but I don't remember the exact thing it was, but it just felt a little cruel. In fact,
it was like the club one or something like that, or you didn't invite me to the club, or I don't know.
Well, you didn't invite us to the club.
Oh no, maybe that's what it was. Maybe I had a club.
I think we still do that one, right?
I don't think that was the one. I think we do that.
Where we cross our arms and we're like, you're having milkshakes with Bebop after the show.
See, it's funny. It's,
it's
funny when it's like one person and everyone else is left out, but it's not funny when one person's left out. But I think it was another thing. But we cut it so fast that I don't remember what it is.
Yeah.
So I just remember someone saying something about it. I'm like, oh yeah, no, we don't do that one anymore. But
I remember there was a little bit of like hesitancy when Rabbit changed genders. There was a couple jokes that just kind of we were kind of like iffy with, because they're just like, how will people react to having a woman getting punched in the face?
And we were just like, and the joke was like, we'll just do it to the spine because no one's gonna care. So then spine just gets beat up.
It's so crazy how you could have those like double standards, and that was kind of weird for a little bit, but I don't think it really like affected that much.
But it's also a little funnier too, because like it's Spine's song, he's the one kind of leading this whole bit thing a little bit. So it's kind of like, okay, well you think this is going your way, but no, it isn't. We're gonna stab you with a bunch of imaginary bottles and Wild West stuff.
I love that.
But that is so funny.
It's still one of my favorite bits.
I would say it's funnier than when you know we were kind of trading off who was getting hurt or something. You know. So I think not every change is for the for the worse.
There's just something about the nonchalantness of like how quickly it gets turned, you know, and how easily we're able to like take things and hurt.
The problem with those bits though is that, man, it really is hard to go and sing
Do
a
a
song right after, especially that one, because Automaton Electronic Harmonics is it's pretty much nonstop the whole way through for the lead singer, me, and then I'm also the one doing
it's a huge opening bit, and it's a lot of movement, and it's a lot of singing,
and honestly, like I don't think I've ever gone into it. You literally have to like stop and make a bit about how I'm exhausted, and then hold on, I can't stop. But I'm not. It's not really a bit. It's more like I just need 5 seconds.
Funny though. Funny. It's always funny though.
But it probably drags too.
Right? Oh yeah, I'm sure. But that's kind of. We have a good time on stage. If you haven't seen our live shows,
well, you won't be able to.
You're only getting half the. No, but you can definitely look up some archival footage and stuff, and we do have some offerings, so you can get a better sense of just how much the comedy is intertwined in our act.
Yeah,
I think some people forget that with. Well, I don't know, forget it, but they just can't see it if they don't watch the live show. You don't always get all that comedic intention from the albums.
And we do have some stuff on our YouTubes, but after a certain point, like no one's going to sit there and watch an hour and half long concert. So we usually have like specific points on our YouTube. Of,
I always forget about
video.
Go Spine Go, which is an entire song about Spine pooping himself. I always forget about. I think people know that we're not a very serious band.
We don't have music videos for all of our songs, so that's another reason why some of them are like kind of off. No one really hears. But even if we had a music video for something like Go Spine Go, I think it would be one of our least popular ones. Maybe.
Why?
I don't know. I'm just because I don't know. Fart Patrol did pretty okay, but
Can't you just imagine Spine standing there with all this toilet paper like slowed down, falling?
Yeah.
We just get like
you just shake your head slowly.
But it's one of those things that like it's one of those songs that it doesn't really make sense unless you know the band. Because it's not super in jokes or anything. It's just you have to at least know who the characters are, and that's why I feel it's one of those.
It's also funny. It was always funny when we did it live because it was basically just a bit that turned into a whole song.
Yeah.
Like that's what it feels like, and it's kind of like, oh, this is like a James Bond song, but about pooping, and that's funny.
Yeah.
But the golden age, 2014. I don't know.
Well, last three questions. This one is from Sunday. Will you play at the asylum in the future? Us Brits miss you.
Gosh.
Yeah, if we ever get invited back. I mean, that's out of our hands. But we don't have any current plans for live shows in general, but also we have no plans for international stuff. That's not to say that we won't in the future. But yes, we weren't at the last year's asylum, of course. And I think right before the pandemic, we weren't at that one either, I don't think.
Yeah.
But we did go 3 times, so we were in the UK at least 3 years in a row. So that's all you get. No. But yeah,
never say never.
It's very expensive, and we can't really
extremely expensive.
We can't put it on ourselves because it's just one of those. You have to have someone who's going to do all the work over there for you because we can't really hire some. We can't to come into a place. We have to be invited.
Yeah,
sort of. I'm sure there's a workaround or something if you have a giant company.
But just
your tour.
Plane tickets alone are just ridiculous,
Yeah, it's pretty much trying to make back the ticket price that the
it was makes. It was a blessing that it even happened 3 times in a row. Like that was crazy. That we got to perform in Canada a couple times too. Like it's good times. So
yeah. But the UK is definitely most expensive, like to get us over there. So we're just grateful that it was worth it for them, and the concerts that we did for them got enough people in that it was worth it for them for 3 years.
Definitely a lot of fun over there at the asylum. A lot of cool events, open market, and a lot of cheese pies.
But I always
yeah, British pies.
Just like to remind people that we're a small band and we don't do tours. It's all us, just by ourselves.
Just us and the pies. That's it.
And it's less about money when we internationally because, well, for one thing, most events don't want you to do a Kickstarter to go to an event because then you're also paying for the ticket. Like that's always like nope, can't do that. No, there's been no event that wants to do a Kickstarter to get a band somewhere. So at least not in our experience, and not that we would do it, but it's so it's less about having money and more that you need an event that wants to make money off of you, and then they can hire you. Well, it's more about inviting because if you get hired, then you have to have it gets legally weird.
It's amazing that it was pulled off. I'll always just be amazed that it happened because there's a lot of stuff you got to work through. But yeah, it was really fun. Love the UK. It's gorgeous over there, and like we said, your pies are amazing.
This next question is from Glub. When you are feeling down, what keeps you motivated to keep going on your work? And they said, sorry if it's too personal. I think that's a fair question. And
I would say
probably more relevant in these times.
I would say the boys keep me going. I mean, it's cheesy, but
Amazon show?
I mean, it's yes, but yeah, boys.
Just can't wait for season 3 or whatever.
It's a good show. I gotta watch that. I gotta watch the cartoon. Yeah, but really, the band members. I mean, it's definitely, but also it's kind of my family too, and it's all interconnected here. So it's definitely gives me a healthy perspective to keep me going.
Yeah, that's a huge I don't want to say blessing, but a good thing about this, that even when you don't feel like showing up, sometimes the others will pick up that kind of slack. But yeah, I don't know, man. Sometimes it's just you got to kick yourself in the butt and understand that um, the that the good never comes without the bad, and you on a bad slope now, and pretty soon you're gonna be on a really big high, and you'll be riding that for a bit before you come right back down to the low. So like, just understanding that life kind of goes in ebbs and flows, and not rhymed and sounded cheesy. I apologize, but that's how I think about it, and that kind of helps me push through those kind of humps in the road.
And that's on top of everything else, personal problems, mental health issues, all that. So like life and living and being a human, real hard on its own. I always say, we all suffer from the same thing, the human condition, whatever those conditions may be. Might be more unique to you than anyone else, but there's definitely people out there in the world who have gone through something similar. Probably not the same combination and flavor of whatever your life is, but, take what you can from all the little, friends, family, relatives. Some people don't do it good, but that's not to say they don't have good advice for other things in their life that you can take from. And yeah, I think as far as like work and stuff goes, with the question asked, like to motivate it, I always like to give myself. It would be sometimes it's like it'd be very easy to just want to lay in bed or lay on the floor and just not have to do anything. I can't do that as a person because I feel it's that mix of feeling guilty, but also like, I want to feel like I'm accomplishing stuff, but I also get burnt out and tired and depressed and just not feeling stuff. So I always try to give myself a few days a week to just be like, if you can get through just this boring work here, then you'll feel better for the creative stuff later in the week or some, stuff like that. But even sometimes the creative stuff, like can't pick and choose, especially with a band. We do have the flexibility that we can we can put stuff off. But when you do a show, nope. You have a bad day, you're still doing the show. So most people have to show up to work and do that stuff too. It sucks that something that you love and creative you might not feel, because then it feels like you're betraying it, I guess, in a way. But we're only human, and when anything turns into a job, you can only have an excitement for it, not 24/7. It's going to be slightly less than that, which is okay, because I think even doing Steam Powered Draft, we can't touch on, I would say, even half of the ambitions that we might have. And if we could, there would be more. It would be a lot more people and a lot more money and a lot more a giant company involved, and that probably wouldn't be as good. So, kind of have to know that we're just mortal and we can only do so much.
Also, humor helps immensely, I would say, as you can by listening to us. I mean, joking around and stuff it's good. It's good for the soul.
Plus, feeling bad about yourself. And like, I can't do this. I'm terrible at this. Like, that's a safe place for a lot of us. Like, we know what that feels like. It's very comfortable. It's because stuff like anxiety and stuff like that is very scary. No one wants to live in there. So a lot of anxiety turns right into self-doubt and self-stuff because it's safer. I know what that feels like. Of course, I'm terrible at this job, at doing this creative stuff and whatnot, because you can't. No one wants to face their fears, because that's, even though it's like your brain wants to do more work to make it easier for you when you could literally do less work and it'd be slightly harder for you. And I think that's kind of the most things in life is it's easy in a different way, where it's better to be more consistent of like, okay, I'm going to confront this head on. It's scary. I have the anxieties. But we tend to, as humans, have that defense of like, I'm going to make this more difficult for myself because it'll be easier to be in this position, which it doesn't make any logical sense, but we all
perspective can help. Yeah, I mean, we all get there. So don't beat yourself up. Would be a good advice. Just by telling that to yourself, and then also having that perspective. Hopefully, you can get back on track to make some habits, and it doesn't take too long once you get your momentum going, to keep that momentum, it becomes a lot easier.
Plus, just give yourself the freedom to have some bad days, because I'm most of the time, like, I can't go like more than 2 days being super negative. I'll get inspired. Just it'll turn around eventually. You just have to.
And if you're not failing too, you're also, failure is accomplishment.
That's true.
Sure is.
You gotta fail.
With all that said,
fail and embrace it.
I know there's people out there who have been depressed, and it's been months or maybe even years, and you feel like you're in a rut. And I know none of this would apply to you, but I think having the habit of being able to even get to a point where you're happy, even for a few hours, that's the goal.
Yeah.
Because the more you do it, the more the more you're telling your brain, I can get back to this point. So if you haven't seen that spot, even if it's only an hour, a few minutes a day, like, well, yeah, of course it feels unobtainable, and it might actually be in whatever spot you're in. So, yeah, just know that it is a possibility in whatever way that makes you feel good. We can still feel bad and feel good at the same time. Live in the moment. What's the rule? 80% in the present, 10% in the past, 10% in the future, or a number of that.
Yeah.
Basically, live in the present more than the past and more in the future, but still look into that stuff just for your anxiety's sake. Don't think about the past too much, and don't think about the future too much. But think about it a little bit, you know what I mean? But I have that problem. The minute I stop doing something and I feel like I'm fine, every bad thing from the past comes to bite me. And it's not anything that anyone would think is bad, but, it's like when I was in elementary school and stuff like this, or someone said something and like, why do I care about what this thing that this person, probably not even the same person, you know what I mean? It's like, it just comes back. And that's my own personal damage, but I know other people out there will have the same kind of thing, trauma is trauma, and our brains love to live in the past, and that's my biggest thing is. Yeah. And so I have to keep busy, otherwise my brain will just
don't get stuck in there. Getting stuck in the past and like thinking about all that, it can easily become cyclical, and you'll just be in a cycle of doubting yourself, and it's not fun. So anxiety and depression can definitely grow into more, I don't know, destructive forces. But so it's really good just to have patience with yourself and give yourself time.
And everyone.
And also.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Therapy. Therapy is also good. I would also like.
Everyone could use some therapy these days.
Yeah. I mean, if you have access to it, there's stuff online now. You don't even have to do video on it. It can all just be audio. With some of these companies that popped up during the pandemic and stuff like that. So I encourage everyone. Your mental health is worthwhile. And if you're under 30, it's super important because you're still growing up until like 26 or so, your brain. And after that, you're kind of the same person. So if it's late in life, there's still hope because, the damage might be done, but you're at least it can't get worse. I guess. There's nothing.
Well, it can always get worse, but
I just mean like, yeah. No.
Well, that's a nice question. It's got some real talk answers for it because obviously it's something we all experience.
Mm-hmm. And on that note, we have one more question, and maybe this one will be a little more upbeat. This one's from Radmato. 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 Redmato or Redmato? And there are not two T's. Would there be two T's? Will it change it? Anyways, Redmato. What song is the most difficult to be performed live in a technical sense rather than emotional? Thank you for the question. I'm going to say the album version of Transform that we tried to play live.
Oh my goodness.
I wouldn't say
that was hard.
I think we succeeded, but we had to implement a lot more backing tracks than usual, so it wasn't just drums. But then also the instrument changes, because we tried to do that, and we kept most of the effects and stuff like as backing tracks. But we had electric guitar going, and I mean we made it work. I think it worked.
It worked. I think after we did it, we were like, I don't know. But now we've had a lot of time to sit on it.
Very true.
Since the pandemic.
You'll be happy to know the acoustic version is what we're going to bring to live shows.
And it's a modified one, so we actually added in patrons were hearing this on one of our rehearsals, our live stream rehearsals that we were doing last month or so. But we added another chorus, so even the acoustic version, we were trying to like match Bunny's YouTube video.
Yeah.
But then we decided
It's nice that we have different versions. If we ever wanted to do like a big upscale one, you could totally go back to the other one and have like a whole orchestra. Not that we'd ever do that, but it's nice to have these different iterations of the songs at least.
And yeah, I mean, I think besides that, because of the genre changes and stuff, key changes can be hard too, I suppose. But once you know the song a little bit, it's not too terrible. And we did have a lot of key changes in that in the genre stuff too. So it was changing up. And before we did the genre stuff, it was like we still had key changes. So it was like key changes on top of all the
definitely rehearsed the heck out of that song. I remember. But
yeah, besides that, I would say for me, Turn Back the Clock was a pretty hard one to play on guitar, because if I didn't pay attention, I would get lost, because the chord chain, the key doesn't change, but the structure of each part, I wouldn't say it didn't make sense, but it was very all over the place. And it was there wasn't a structure that I could follow, like some stuff, and I don't know why it had to be specific chords, because obviously I helped pick what they would be, but like some chords would change in between different verses, and just the way that the melody was, it only made sense to change them. Like when you do, like, say there's a part, like a verse or something, it would be 4 chords, but then the next verse, which is technically the same, it would have 1 chord changed, and we do that a lot, but this one it always felt a little more complicated to play, and I don't think there was nothing wrong about it. It was just it was above my ability to remember.
Sure.
But I did. We had it going. But the minute we stopped playing, I was like, oh yeah, Hold Me, so easy. I don't have to think about that one.
Yeah, Hold Me is both nice songs. But yeah, I would say, like, yeah, there's some ones that I'm like, ooh, this one's a little hard, but like they're all pretty, like, every each one of them I would say is challenging. I don't remember a song where I was like, oh, I just have this ready to go. It's like you just got to spend time with the harmonies, and you really got to, and like my initial thoughts on how difficult a song are just don't compare it to after you've been playing it for a while. But like, no, there's still, AEH is a big one, and it's like, even for me, who does the least amount, like, it's hard. It's also like the one time I do my solo, and the pressure is so intense because there's so much buildup, and I often mess up the solo. It's like, I'm terrible at soloing, but like, yeah, it's great. It's hard, but in a good way.
And I think, if you have anything to add on to that, Brian, with any other songs, or
no, AEH and Transformer both my answers. So,
well, thank you for your questions, patrons, and thank you for your support as well.
Wait, I forgot Overdrive. Overdrive's like the most complicated song we've ever done.
But technically, it's not very hard to play because none of us are playing instruments when we played it live.
No, but we had to. We were doing like dancing.
Yeah.
Did we ever get that recorded? Because
we didn't. But there is some. There are some people that record it with their cell phones, and I think in the UK we did it in the UK, and I think there's one floating around on YouTube.
It's a cool little dance.
Yeah, but man, hard to sing harmonies and do the dance at the same time.
Yeah, it was.
Just because
we're not BTS, we can't.
Well, I think it's also.
I am up like dynamite.
I don't know. I think it's just because of the robot. You throw the robot in there, that makes everything harder. I don't know. I don't think we were doing not all of our moves were robotic and stuff, but we got through it. It wasn't.
It looked cool. You look cool.
Yeah.
The
hardest part is the stage would change every show, and I think we did it like 3 or 4 times, and like different size stage, and we were like, oh wow, we have no room here. So that's the hardest part of choreographing something with a stage. You have no idea where you're going to
be. Tight.
I just remember this. That's all I remember.
We filmed. I think we filmed it. I don't know if we ever shared it with Patrons. Like, we actually filmed, like, here's the run through of how we do it. We could probably do that now.
Oh.
I mean, realistically, are we ever going back to that? Probably not.
So, do I remember any of it? No.
I'm just saying, like, I think we have the videos somewhere of like how we learned it. Because we practiced it, of course, in a studio, all of us, at one point or other. So I'm sure I know there's a video floating around where we needed to film it so we knew how to, for archival purposes. But I don't know if we have all of us doing it or if it's just like me and the Penya. I have no idea. Cool. I don't even know where to look. I'll ask the Penya. We'll find something.
That was pretty hard for a different reason. Just being well. I guess
it was easy.
Kinda
We just had all we had was the voices, and the whole song was a backing track because they're like, well, we're not going to have guitar and try to move around with us. So.
Yeah, singing it was fine. Like it's no more complicated than anything else we do. But like dancing definitely adds a layer of brain work to it.
Yeah. Okay, so that was the questions of Bennettarium.
Thanks for all your questions.
And we're done with that. Just making sure that.
Well, you said we were going to get to the game zone, but I don't know if we have time for the game zone.
Let's see. We started a little late because of. We started a little late. We've been going for about. Wait, where's the stream thing? Yeah, we've been going for about an hour and a half, which is a little longer than normal.
Yeah.
So
That's not
there's
enough time
video
to go
games out
game
there,
on.
or otherwise it's gonna be a 2-hour podcast, which I guess most podcasts are about an hour to hour and a half.
That's okay.
Plus more to talk about in
Next
when's
podcast.
the next one
But
gonna
we're going to be playing completely different video games in 3 months. So
May? Is May the next one? May.
Like nothing.
May?
Probably May.
Okay, everyone, list 3 games that you're playing right now. And that, don't explain them. Just Jurassic Park Evolution 2, Babylon's Fall, and Godfall. I know that's a real weird combination.
Horizon Forbidden West, Hollow Knight, and that's it.
Neo 2. And that's it right now.
Oh,
There's probably some others.
Oh, I forgot. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. I've been playing that one. It's pretty good.
Tiny Tina's Wonderland.
Did you know Sierra Strange is in there? It's crazy.
I don't know that.
We,
I
we,
don't know
from the old convention scene. No one.
I don't remember. I'm not very
he
good
used
at
to
names.
dress up like Iron Man and part of his show. Mr. Strange.
Oh yeah. I think Yomicon. I remember.
Yeah, he was in an anime with Midwest too. He was in Borderlands 3 as like an off character, but now he's like a main character, Paladin Mike, and it's super cool character. He did a really good job. His character is great. Anyways, yeah, that's what I'm playing.
Nope.
Well, thanks for joining us on the Bennettarium. Do we have to end it with a song or something?
Podcast about drivers, Bennettarium.
Well, I guess we'll sing. It's kind of what we do. Take it away, Brian. No, you did it. You did it already. That's good.
Now,
Is that not good?
and the Bennettarium. Have had, and someone had pie, and it was treated Bennettarium.
That's all for the Bennettarium. Can't wait to eat some lunch.
Call your mom and say that you love her, or your parental guardian,
Yeah.
because they'll appreciate that.
People asking us questions in the chat about games, and we're like, no, we're not talking about the games. We just
It's not game zone time yet.
we talked about serious stuff for far too long.
You might want to know
you don't get to...
if we're done playing the other games, but we can't answer that. No, that's not.
You're gonna have to stay tuned to our second show, is where we stream video games. It's called Stream Powered Giraffe, and we talk about the video games that we stream. It's a podcast for the stream. And then
Damn.
no, that's a lie. We're not doing any of that. But
we can stop the podcast anytime now, right?
I guess we could.
Okay.
Like right now.
Okay, well,
All right, listen to that.
I don't
listen to your
know-
next murder mystery podcast.
I don't just have a button to press. It like stops at different points for the audio recording for the. So let me just press end stream.
Well, all right, everyone.
And
I'll
end
see
the-
you later.
Bye.